I'm going through my notes and notebooks again in this table. It's going back to the wild, anyways. That's why people hire landscapers, etc. They want to tame. They want to tame people. Excuse me. It doesn't say they want to tame people. I'll start over. It's going back to the wild, anyways. That's why people have hired landscapers, etc. They want to tame. Tamed people cannot live naturally. That is why they seek power. Their back to nature becomes twisted. They want to be hedonists because they think that is wild, while in reality, symbiosis works. Mycelium, plant roots, tunnels made by animals live, gather unpolluted algae and water plants come in. Going back to the wild doesn't mean becoming a libertine and disrespecting others. So, um, as I read in the caption, I'll go back to I'll explain um, what I was going through. But before that, I want to also put in that I had spent a month at in a tent at a place where permaculture and regenerative design was taught. So that's why. Um, Yeah, that's not why, but I have had that kind of background training in my background. So yeah, yes, this kind of stuff was coming through. But also it's not like this magical stuff. I have studied, and I believe that when people are under stress, sometimes survival mode is when it's firing and firing and firing, insights happen. I'm not saying that you should stress people out, um, but I was under a lot of stress. And also, that's when I feel a lot the disparities of economy and many other things, and how I do become critical of people who are the haves. And yeah, and I also have seen throughout, I'm middle-aged now, so throughout the years I have seen how the haves want to be wild, like the have-nots. Um, uh, but this wilderness, they seek hedonism more than symbiosis. And that's how nature works, more by symbiosis. I believe that these hedonistic people who are very advantaged, they still want to keep their comfort. So they don't want to give that up, but they want more stimulation. And instead of evening things out, they seek sensation in a way where they continue to benefit. And it doesn't even things out, and it doesn't put things more into homeostasis or symbiosis. And that was the winter 2018. It was 2019. The, there was a month I was staying with friends in their living room um, for some rent and some help inside the house, but I was living in a place. where people were so the roommates were would stand outside my door and cackle and whine and talk in a infantile voice. They wouldn't. They hadn't one of the bills. I think I had the electric or gas bill. They wouldn't pay it, and then if I asked them, they call it harassment. They'd steal my belongings in the kitchen, so I had to keep all my plates and whatnot in the bedroom I rented. They steal food and say, "Oh, I thought it was someone else's," meaning they just um chalked it up that they think they stole somebody else's food. Then they just like use my stuff. Like I had a what do you call it? Those permanent mugs, those aluminum um cups that have a cover so you don't have to use paper. They microwaved hot soup in it. Like they would do stupid things like that. But towards the end, they started locking up somebody's father, an older person, in a bedroom with a padlock from the outside. There's no sink, there's no refrigerator, there's no toilet in there, and leave him there. Um, and they would like leave things like when the kitchen started smelling, and I stopped cleaning the kitchen because they started treating me like a free housekeeper, and it got worse and worse, and the floors were covered in like paper bags and plastic bags. I got an email while I was staying with my friends, um, who let me stay in their living room that they found a festering chicken. So somebody and it was bloody. So I've seen in that area, where I was living, there are like those poultry markets where there are birds in cages and they'll slaughter and feather it for you. So I'm guessing they got a chicken like that and left it in a plastic bag for it to rot and fester just to bother roommates. Um, that's my guess. They said it was bloody, so I don't think if you buy a chicken from the supermarket wrapped in plastic, you'll get a bloody chicken. Um, so yeah, after months of being cackled at, having, being economically uh, mistreated, and having stuff stolen. Oh yeah, and they'd also clog up the kitchen drain. They'd fry stuff and then just pour the cooking oil. It was horrible. But I was under a lot of stress. That on top of like, you know, years of other roommates like that. I lived in Philadelphia between October 2016 and February 2022. And just like one living situation to another, people are like that. So in context, I'm from New York City and Brooklyn. I've you've seen like the hoarder posts and whatnot. Like there have been horrible like situations, but like things like leaving a festering chicken, other stuff, you know, in other situations just doesn't happen in New York. And to be honest, those hoarders from the other post, they're not from even this country. They're not from the United States. I'm not saying that New Yorkers are perfect or they don't do things like this, but in my experience, there's a little bit more dignity and pride than than to do things like that. Um, but my point was, it, I I that's the point is the beginning of the this life. that oh, when they want to go wild, they should really think about how in the wild things balance each other out. And yeah, like having a big garden and hiring a landscaper isn't being wild. And also, you're like, I have a feeling you're exploiting the landscaper, although maybe some landscapers charge a fair amount. And people know when there's invasive species, whether it's like mold or something like that, or insects or plants that take over an ecosystem, things go out of whack and everyone dies. So, um, that was my point, right? If you continue uh, just taking, everybody dies. And I don't know why I'm not dead either. My friends who have had brutal early lives, they've died in the past few years. Someone very special to me died in 2019. Somebody very special to me died 2022. Last year, 2024, two people died. All of these people had injuries and other permanent things from really, really brutal early lives. And all of these people, they they didn't make that the focus of their existence, and they were artistic people. And yeah, like really artistic, whether they made stuff that was innovative and unusual, or they became very good at what they do in terms of technique and precision, or a combination of both. So these four people, they're not here anymore. I don't have friends that I can talk about having a really brutal early life and living with its precautions now. Yes, I say this as I'm in pain. I have a not normal spine because of impact injuries in my early life, and I'm in pain. It's snowing outside. But even if it wasn't snowing, I've been in pain for a long time. Um, and the medical system, the doctors, they don't do anything except for do what they're supposed to do. More testing, more meds. So this is the state of things. And you can see in some of my other posts, I want to leave this country, even if it's very difficult for me, um, to go anywhere else where the culture and the language is different. So I thought that I began this live with a feeling, a good feeling that I had that insight and I can share it. But now I don't feel in despair, although I fall into a much deeper sadness that these four people are no longer on the same plane of existence as I am. And I'm not overwhelmed with loneliness. I feel loneliness all the time. Um, and I don't have this morbid wish to die either. But I have a very deep wish now that I did not anticipate even a few months ago, a few minutes ago, actually, that I want to join them. Um, so Please comment below. Anything if you've had similar experiences. Um, if you have advice, I'm not saying advice to unalive myself. Any advice on anything, because as you can hear from this upload, that I'm alone, and yeah, I'm alone. I do these. I have this channel and the other channel because I've experienced things that people should know about, um, that I don't think should be swept under the rug. Corrupt nonprofits, corrupt things in the systems, corrupt systems. And on top of that, the other channel with the blue S. But with this channel, the reality of permanent physical damage, due to child abuse and having to live with that broken body into adulthood, and now I'm in my middle age. And the repercussions of child sex trafficking and the repercussions of falling through the system. Doctors they knew I was being abused. Nothing was done to help. Social workers, just lazy. Guidance counselors in schools, teachers who just hated me for like being different, being poor and different. But I see the numbers. I'm not getting too much of an audience, and I thought one view is enough, even if it's one view. But I don't know. Am I reaching out to anybody? So yeah, please put in the comments, and yeah, anything. Please comment below. Goodbye.